will say good evening, good afternoon, good morning or good night, wherever you are across this big wide globe of ours. It is Wednesday night here in Perth, and once again it's the Community Sports Show, Lacrosse WA Midweek Show. And I've got friends, hooray, who would have believed it? I've got some friends that have joined me in the studio tonight, and it's some very special guests. Dad Mark Emmerson and current title holder for the Lacrosse WA Women's State League champions, Isla Emmerson. Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Welcome to you both. You had a big weekend?
Yeah, definitely. It was a good win, that's what I'm saying.
A good win. Oh, I'm sure you'll say plenty more about it when we get to the women's segment. But as always, viewers, we welcome you all wherever you are, whether you're a lacrosse fan or not. Welcome to the Community Sports Show, where we talk about local sports to you, our fabulous global audience, wherever you might be. And a couple of special shout-outs before we kick off to Tom Lynch over there in Boca Raton, Florida. He was watching you win last weekend.
Yeah, he was.
So a big shout-out to Lizzie's dad over there. To Rob Lawson, who was watching the men's on Sunday, the Australian under-20 coach from Glenelg. Now, I just realised if I put my arm up, it's not on screen, and this arm doesn't work so good, so I'll wave over here. And to our big supporter over there in Canada, Gord Jacobs, thanks for the positive feedback last week. We appreciate that, and the support of everyone that's joined us, because guess what, Isla?
What?
Facebook's for old people. We're no longer on Facebook. I might have turned 60, but I refuse to admit being old. So we're on YouTube now, and a big shout out to all 141 of you out there that have joined us. Tell your mates, tell your friends, tell your family, jump on board. We'd love to boost our numbers, because you never know.
Absolutely.
All right, well, we'll get into it in a second. As always, we're going to find out more about Isla. She's on a really big journey coming up. You excited about that?
I'm so excited. Yeah.
We'll find out how excited in a moment. Dad, are you excited?
Absolutely stoked.
Is that because she's going away?
Possibly, but I am going with her.
Are you? Oh, chaperone. Oh.
Give or take, yes. I think roped in for a bit of support as well.
Well, is Mum Gail going?
Not this time, unfortunately.
Watching from home.
Unlucky there, Gail. But a big shout out to you, and thanks for organising these two fabulous people in here tonight. And thanks to Bayswater for hosting us last week, and special thanks to the council for letting us on. We almost weren't allowed to film. So, oh yeah, safety and health, got to be careful out there. But you don't need to be careful when you get serviced by our fabulous platinum sponsors. ID Athletic. You can look as good as I do with ID Athletic through their great range of apparel and sporting merchandise, or keep cool in summer. It's just around the corner. Well, we're getting bucketed on. It wasn't friendly coming here tonight, was it?
No.
But we were safe.
Yeah, safe, and you can keep safe from the sun and the cold thanks to Vision Decor with their range of curtain blinds and awnings, even hybrid floorings. And one last shout out before we get into the show. We've mentioned the human ones. We'll give a canine shout out here. I'm not sure if you saw the footage on the weekend, but Rocky, Tony Barker's dog, down there at Bayswater did a bit of a ground invasion. So big shout out to Rocky and Tony. Thanks for the entertainment there, fellas. I'm not sure it was necessary. The lacrosse was pretty entertaining.
It was, yeah.
Now, Mark, because you guys are in, we're going to change the order up a little bit so that you guys can get home and have some dinner, because, I don't know, Gary, you could have packed a picnic dinner or something. Callan's still at home waiting, and you two haven't eaten. Their stomachs are growling louder than mine. But we're going to change the order up, Mark. Can you just let the viewers out there know what's going to happen tonight?
Well, first of all, you're going to talk to young Isla here. You're going to go through the junior men's scores from the weekend. Some great action there. The junior women's grand final recap, obviously. The senior women's grand final as well. The senior men final round, and the Victorian SA update as well.
Well, I'm sure Isla will be happier about one and we'll find out which in a moment as we get into it. But first, let's find out a little bit more about Isla, Emmerson, and Dad Mark. You'll be a part of this conversation as well, because it doesn't happen without the parents. You know, you got a license yet, Isla?
Not yet.
So you're the taxi driver, Uber driver.
We share responsibilities.
Well, it's great to see. So names, obviously, Mark and Isla, Emmerson.
Yep.
Background is
Sure, yeah. We
not
are
American. I'm picking.
No, and American sports will come up quite a bit, I suspect, in this. Myself and Gail. Gail's obviously Scottish. I'm obviously Irish. We arrived in 2007 from the UK and settled pretty quickly into Western Australia. Isla coming along in 2009 and her brother in 2011.
I'm only laughing because that's so new.
Yeah, it's so easy, you know yourself, to settle into Western Australia, and it's been great for our family.
Well, you're looking like you've fitted in. You've got a short sleeve shirt on in 15 degrees, and
Absolutely. What you can't see is what I'm just wearing board shorts and tongs as well. But
well, we are PG rated, and I do have to say we're not for kids, so we'll move on from there. Isla, let's start with a simple question. And well, actually, I've been taught a life lesson and never ask a lady her age, Noel, so I won't ask that. Let's go with something simpler. First of all, congratulations on your grand final win. How long have you been playing lacrosse?
This is my third season this year.
Third? So
Yes.
Three?
Three. It's my third season.
Not something you played before?
No, I stopped playing ice hockey 4 years ago, and then needed another sport to play. Found lacrosse and just loved it.
Well, it's ice hockey on grass, really, isn't it?
Totally.
Almost. Well, you think of box and
Yeah, it's similar.
it's very similar. The quick
Yeah.
transitions, the turnaround, and it's the only other sport that I know of, is that you can run behind the goals and still retain possession and keep play going. So,
Yeah.
a bit like ice hockey in that regard, just on grass. So softer falls, I imagine.
Just a little bit.
So ice hockey, that's not a sport that most of the viewers, we've covered it, but how did you get into ice hockey then?
Originally started with figure skating. There was a girls only ice hockey session at Coburn one day.
Yeah.
Went. Super fun. There's a Perth professional team, is that what they're calling it?
the Perth Inferno team was established about that time, yeah.
Yep. I did training with them, and they're all adults, and it was really welcoming, and I loved ice hockey, but it's a very male-dominated sport, and it was hard to climb any higher as a female.
Well, there's a couple of West Australian ice hockey teams out there, women's teams in particular I'm aware of, and they've got a competition. So a big shout out to all the ice hockey followers. We appreciate your support, but Isla has moved on, and she's now a lacrosse champion in the making. And you play now. I notice I've got you underneath the East Rio cap and the top there. It's not a very exciting top, and that's feedback for the club. But again, I said I'm cheeky. I can get away with this. I've been asking for years. I've got Dave Fox's Subiaco shirt there. But we do what we can. But Isla, you're not in the East Rio colours tonight.
No,
What's going on?
I've got my IIJL box lacrosse top on. It's new and ready for competition.
New and ready for competition. What's that mean?
Well, I'm ready.
Obviously, I know what new
Yeah.
means, but what competition's coming up?
It's the IIJL Women's Junior Box Worlds.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, it is.
And where's that being held?
It's in Buffalo.
Oh, big shout out to Buffalo, Colorado. Is that? I don't know.
Upstate New York, Niagara Falls.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That clearly American geography was a fail at high school for me. Box is different, and we'll talk. Well, what is the difference between box? I've used the word, you've used it there. What's the difference between box and outdoor?
It's indoors, you got a lot more gear. It's a bit more like men's lacrosse. It's the only version of lacrosse where men's and women's rules are the same.
Yeah.
So, a bit more contact, a bit more fun, shorter running. It's always good.
It's almost a basketball court size, isn't it, the field?
It's actually an ice hockey court size.
Oh.
That's why the Canadians play it. They melt down their ice rinks and play it there.
Well, see, viewers, there is an insight that I did not expect to pick up tonight, and that's why it's good to share, good to learn. Thank you for letting me know that.
Yeah, fun fact.
It is, in fact, for all the lacrosse fans out there, if you knew that, well done, but bad luck, you didn't tell me, so Isla gets credit for knowing. Now, let's talk about you, and you're at East Fremantle.
Yeah.
You've been there a few years, and I've certainly given you plenty of mentions on the midweek shows over the years. It's great to get to meet the legend that is a goal shooter. Do you have a favourite position? Attack, defence, middle?
I love playing attack, but playing midfield you get to do everything except for the running all game. That sucks sometimes, but when you get the centre draw and you get to chase someone down with it, it's just so much fun.
Oh, okay. So, okay, have you played defence?
I have in games, yeah. I wouldn't
That sounded
recommend.
like she did not like it.
I wouldn't recommend.
No?
No.
Why?
I like shooting goals.
Yeah,
It's
the
more
glory
fun.
hunter, the glory hunter.
Yeah.
I don't know. See, I'm thinking of Harrison Parker, who's normally in here on a Wednesday while Chris is away. Shout out to you, Harry. He's a goalkeeper, and I guess you can't get more defensive position than that. And he was so down on himself, his side went down on the weekend. But my take on that is, if he lets 8 goals in, 5 goals, 2 goals, your job is to get 1 more than he lets in. So really, any time a team loses, it's the offence that should be questioned, in my opinion. Goalie can have a nightmare, but because your team really is very a good mix of young players, experienced players. There's a few Americans in there as well now.
Got 2 new Americans this year. That's been a great mix to the team. But we really have like a good mix of people. Like it's not. Some teams they can be really offense focused or defense focused, or they just can run all day. But our team is like, it's amazing, and that's probably why we won the grand final.
Well, it was interesting. I mean, the reality is we'll look at the grand final in a moment because Subiaco had the wood on you for the season.
Yeah.
You saved the best for last.
Of course.
Which is the way to do it, viewers. Go out with a bang, and a bigger bang you can't get. You mentioned the Americans, Sam and Lizzie. A big shout out to them, and we gave, I've forgotten his name already, Dad Lynch. Do you remember? No. Big shout out to Dad Lynch. I know he's in Boca Raton, but has the addition of those sort of players helped you and your teammates because of their background?
Yeah, I think so. Them coming from college in America, it's just like, I myself get to learn, because I want to go to college as well, get to see like how they've learnt there and what skills they have and how it's different. Because it is different, and it's so much more fun to have different aspects and different ideas coming into a team. Yeah,
for sure. I'm just checking a few comments there. Jen Edwards online. Thanks to Nathan, our IT man of Nathan's Event Hire, for telling me to turn the volume up. We tested it this afternoon and had a bit of background noise, so I turned it down to mute that. But good to have Nathan there, keeping us honest. And Jen Edwards from Wembley. You'll get a mention shortly, Jen. Stay tuned. Box is different. Field is different. Sixes is coming up in the Olympics. We had a recent tournament here. You talk about high, fast repetition. As an offensive player, Sixes is built for your game.
Yeah.
Should be, I think.
Sixes is so fun. Just getting to pass it, and literally the point of it is to pass it and score. And it's just the quick movements. And in the tournament, I only got to play 1 game because I was in America.
Yep.
But it was fun.
I don't know, a tough trade-off, Phoenix or America, viewers. some might say Phoenix is the Bronx, and their shirt actually said straight out of Phoenix, so they identify that themselves.
I think my first exposure to sixes down at the Relax down in Bustleton, great setup. Out of season, everyone down there, and watching Isla play with the under-18s team down there was really, really, really nice to see. A big community, people mixed up. It was and beautiful weather, unlike Phoenix the other night, which was pretty wet.
It is the coast, but we're inland and we're still getting wet, so I can't really say that, can I? Yourselves, whereabouts in Perth do you live? Don't have to give a street address, but no one home at the moment.
We're over in Winthrop. We were previously out further, but as the kids grew up and we were spending more time going to different sporting things, we've moved in a bit closer. So it makes it easy as a parent to say, well, we're a little bit more centrally focused. You want to go there? It's not miles away, but it does make life a little bit easier.
Absolutely. Well, do you have a summer sport, or is summer going to be in America?
Summer sport is box lacrosse.
Yep. Yeah. Just up the road here, viewers, and I've been saying for a few years now it's an opportunity to get involved. There's not a lot of the field players play box in summer, so what would you say to everyone out there about box?
Box is so fun. It's like a way to use your skills in a different way, because it's different, but you get to learn so many things and you get to hit a few people. So.
That's the ice hockey player in it coming out, isn't it?
Just a little.
See? Yeah. I like to be offensive and score goals, but I'm okay with knocking someone over too.
You can do both at the same time.
And have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, no head contact though, because credit to you, and for the viewers at home, we cover men and women, not as much women's as we'd like. There's been a few challenges there, but you ladies don't play with helmets.
No, we don't.
Why?
More
Do
free.
you know? Is there a rule, Dad, or?
There isn't. We noticed in the States on a recent trip that in every team there was maybe one or two girls had helmets, but they were of different size, different reasons, and what have you. It's interesting. One of the parents noticed that when her daughter was wearing a helmet, she actually got hit more, and that people were a lot more freer with swinging their stick around, which is a bit disappointing to hear. I think the general rules and understanding of concussion, though, being the bigger issue, is becoming more talked about more, particularly in lacrosse and in the other contact sports, which is it's good to see as well.
Have you been hit with the ball often?
I've only been hit with the ball during trainings, which it's all right.
I've talked to your teammates about that, but because the reality is, and we talk about it, lacrosse, a lot of people are starting to get to know the sport through our show. I've got a ball up there, but it is solid rubber. And how hard or how fast do the women throw it, roughly?
The women throw it pretty fast. That's why I wear goggles during State League. Not because I don't trust their passes, it's just, it's so fast. Jess Kennedy is one who's like one pass from one end of the field to the other and it's just gone 1,000,000 miles per hour.
And on that note, a big shout out to our camera operator, who sometimes might be me, that suddenly goes, oh, it's up there. That explains it.
Yeah.
Because it's so fast, and sixes is even faster.
Yeah.
Because the focus is on getting goals. Speaking of goals, you've set yourself some. You mentioned college.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you're going to Buffalo, New York. It's locked in now. For the IIJL, the boys, or men, junior men, have just played their tournament.
Yeah.
What are some of your goals then? What have you set yourself as the next goal?
Some short-term goals that I've set for myself are under 18s team again this year. I also want to get up there in State League because playing juniors is fun, but playing with big adults is so much more fun.
Well, that's the standard you've got to set yourself at, really, isn't it? Because that's where you're going to compete on a world stage, is not against young kids having a go. and no offence to them, they're all having a go, but LA, 4 years' time, I haven't asked your age, and I'm not going to, but
I can try out, don't worry.
you're under 17s at the moment, so you can't be that old, so you can try out.
Yep, I am.
Have you already looked?
Yeah, I'm trying out for the senior Australian team this year.
Awesome.
Yeah.
See, that's what it's. It just gave me goosebumps, Dad. What's that like for you?
Unbelievable. Isla tried out for the under-20s team who are playing in Hong Kong this week. So
yep,
best
start
of luck to them.
Friday night against New Zealand, I think.
And Isla backed herself to go and say, I'll try out. It's only her second season at this point. Credit where credit is due. She went over east for a camp. It exposed her to a level of playing that is different from what you get. And it's a different experience. But more than that, she comes away with a green and gold penny. One of our proudest possessions. And as you can tell from my physique, there is not a sporting bone in my body. But it makes me incredibly proud.
Suck it in, mate. That's what I do. Suck it in.
There's only so much sucking we can do.
Oh, sorry.
But it's incredible. Both myself and Gail and my wider family. I've got two brothers, both of whom can't believe that this is something that one of their relatives is getting involved in. My sister as well looks on with pride from Ireland. So yeah, it's.
Because you mentioned you got family in the States before we came on air.
I do. I've got one brother there. I've got one in London and a sister in Ireland. My brother in Boston. I hope Ali doesn't mind me mentioning it.
Here we go.
He had no idea about lacrosse. He's Irish, and he's but not because he's Irish. But lacrosse was not something that he'd come across. And we said, well, we're going to go to a clinic out at Lowell, at UMass Lowell. And he said, well, come and have a look. And he was absolutely blown away with just what it looked like as a sport. It reminded him a bit of Irish hurling. But then to see Isla, one of his nieces, play it and hold her own, which is incredibly proud for him. And he's
Well, that's fantastic. So, what's next then? You going to the States?
Yeah, I'm going to the States.
When?
Next week.
What the?
Yeah, I leave on the 23rd.
And what are you doing over there?
I've got some training for the box world's team, national team, but we have the IIJL competition, and we've got the junior Australian team. So I'm the only rep from WA this year.
Shh. Get that one on camera.
And I'm the youngest in the team this year.
2.
But I'm just looking forward to meeting all these girls, which I haven't actually met before, and just playing some good lacrosse.
So I can only imagine then, with South Australia and Victoria being the 2 strongest, well, they like to think that, they aren't this year. I'll just put that out there. Again, cheeky nosy, that's me. But they've got a lot of good talent there as well, so another learning opportunity for you to pick up what they're putting out there.
Yeah, and we have some, I believe, this may not be right, but I believe we have some Canadian coaches coming to help us as well.
Oh.
And we have Dan Hall as our coach, and he's really into box, and I've heard about him from the men's and the women's, from the older girls in box.
Well, I don't know what else to say, viewers. I mean, I was still struggling to get through school. You're looking at a future Olympic opportunity.
It blows your mind when you start thinking about it, and you look back at your Facebook memories, being old people that we are, and we see Isla putting on goalie gear in ice hockey a few years ago. We see the kids growing up, and then to hear them so actively talk, not just Isla, but the other girls across WA actively talking about, well, Olympics, what does that look like for us? It's fantastic to see. It's even better to see them when we've got at East Fremantle, they have 2 girls this year who came into under-17s, never had them played threw a ball around, and there they are in the under-15 squad, in the Flame squad. No, Isla's in the Stars squad. But fantastic to see. It's a boost of confidence that then they can see how else they can develop, that they've got coaches like Chloe Tatlow, we've got people like Kate and Ashton involved in lacrosse, and there's a path there that they can see themselves go down.
What would you say? What would you say to any young ladies out there who would go, "Oh, but that's too hard. It's too rough." I think she called you out then.
If it's rough, it means you're doing something right.
Would you encourage them to give it a go at the club level?
Definitely. Give everything a go. Like, you can't lose anything if you're trying it new.
Well, I mean, look at yourself and, your family. You've come into a sport. And I mean, I've never played, apart from a few games I think I vaguely remember back in the 70s at high school. I've never really played lacrosse, but I'm definitely a lacrosse convert. And I mean, you're at East Fremantle. I know you've got an event coming up. I saw something on socials, but no clubs tagged me, so I never keep up. But you've got an event coming up, I think, fundraising for your trip away, a quiz night, or...
It's fundraising for the Australian box team girls.
Okay.
It's a quiz night, I'm pretty sure.
So, opportunities out there, and this is the challenge, because it's not just about those high-level opportunities, it's about the club coming in from the outside. You've mentioned you feel supported, you've got a good, close group knit of friends, I imagine.
Yeah, and in other clubs as well, so it's really great.
That's what it's all about, viewers, getting involved with your community wherever you are, whatever sport it is, and in whatever role, because I'll be honest with you, I've got a lot of sports memorabilia and I've been involved in a lot of sport. But my playing career is less than stellar. 3 games of football, but a 40-year career doing medicine. Cricket umpire for 25 years, and apparently I'm the fastest finger in the West. Plenty of blokes out there call me Trigger. Big shout out to you. Summer season starting soon, can't wait. But it's about getting involved and being involved. You don't have to be a player.
Absolutely not. You look at all the volunteers at all of the clubs and the time that they invest, both for their kids and actually for the enjoyment of it. There was a huge crowd that you saw down at Bayswater at the weekend.
Yeah. People
came down for the Div 1 of the Div 2 game and stayed for the State League game. It was a great atmosphere. It was, and that's great to see. But it doesn't all happen without those volunteers and people helping out, doing scoreboards, helping out behind the bar, doing all the things that you forget takes time to put together. Doing the scoreboard, doing the scores. If you're better than maths, keeping track of goals, because I can't do that with your com. Big shout out to the referees that did actually shout the scorers for us on the weekend. We actually knew who was scoring. So, on or off the field, if you want to get involved at any level in lacrosse, well, this season's all but done, a couple of weeks left, but as Isla said, there's box coming up. There's also opportunities for modcross, I know, that gets done, junior. Yep, in the schools, absolutely.
In the schools, so reach out, find out how you can get involved with lacrosse, and you never know where it might take you, as it's taking this young lady here on a trip around the world. I'm putting it out there, well, because she's got to go to New York, come back, and then maybe go to LA. That's around the world.
Yeah. Hong
Kong is the women's under 20s this year.
Yep.
You mentioned those, so who knows? The world is your oyster, Isla.
Well, with multiple nationalities as well.
Oh, here we go. Get off it, Dad. What, are you going to say you're going to play for Britain if Australia don't pick you?
I'm not saying anything like that.
You're Irish. You're not allowed to say you play for the UK.
I wouldn't dare to say that. It's one of the things we get with having a daughter who's engaged with her own goals and who strongly feels there's nothing Isla's going to do that I can make her do from now on. Yeah. She's got her confidence, she can make her choices, and she's making some pretty good choices recently, so couldn't be prouder.
Oh, that's fantastic. Isla, before we get into the show, because viewers, I'm disappointed. I'd love to spend 3 hours here, but we've got to talk about the rest of the lacrosse as well. That doesn't disappoint me. We just need to get to it. Isla, your brother's at home waiting for dinner. Nearly there, Kellen. Another hour or so, you'll be there. Just eat a biscuit or two. Not the dog biscuits either. Mum said you've got to stop that. But before we go into the show proper, anyone you want to say hi to? Dad said you've got a list, but I'm sure it's not that long. Anyone you want to say thanks to or give a shout out to?
My personal goalie, Lucas. Really appreciate it. Mum at home, driving me everywhere. And anyone who helped me throughout the season, because it's been great. It takes a community to put an event on, and you as a dad. And
absolutely.
Sometimes I reflect, viewers, and you get moments and you're going, where do I fit on that good dad line? And, you know, it takes the efforts of, I'm not questioning myself, I know where I am on that line. But it takes the efforts, and credit to you and Gail as well.
I think what we do for Team Isla, it's and for Team Callan and what he does, is that talking with other parents, with people like Tegan Brown, with the people who offer Isla help, and Isla takes it up and talks to them and asks. It's gratifying then to, when we're out and about at a game, or even not at a game, running into people like Gavin Levy, running into other people and asking how things are going. It makes you feel really, well, both proud of Isla's achievement, but proud to be part of a community that is actually looking out for her like that. It's fantastic.
Credit to everyone then, hey?
Yeah.
Oh, well, we'll find. I'll get the details off air and find out who's actually on that list and sell it for you later. All right, look, Isla, thank you for sharing. You know, we'll say goodbye at the end, and I'll say best of luck there. But it's inspiring to see, because we talk about the one percenters, and in my background, I've been involved at top level football. And young kids think they're going to play for West Coast or this or that, you know, and they might have all the talent, but it's those one percenters that have been there, turning up, putting in the hours at practice, asking the questions that will put you out there, and people will notice that, and doing it when no one's watching. You know, if you want to be an attacker, and I've called a few people out on air, the goals stand about this high. Practice aiming that high, not up there, because a lot of passes go up there and a lot of shots at goal go up there. So full forwards in footy, you know, soccer or football for some, you stand on the penalty shot and take shot after shot after shot and just get it muscle memory. And when you're out there, it'll just be, you know, I look forward to seeing you in the future at the Worlds or wherever your journey takes you, doing the old back around the corner down low shot or something like that.
I tried that last night, actually. Did not go well.
Did it not?
No, it managed to go over the goals. I don't know how that happened, but...
yeah, the uplift. But that's an area for development, you know. Being able to work both sides of the body as well, because we hear a lot of defenders go, she's got no right, she's got no left, you know. Being that multi-dimensional person gives you that extra bit.
Absolutely. I'm remembering back to the first year I got into under 15s, and at the jersey presentation, Ashton had just come back from the US, and she was asked questions in front of all these young boys and girls, what's the thing to work on the most? And she said, just keep shooting. Just keep shooting. The rebounders in the back garden, the wall balls at different grounds, the wall balls when we go, the walls that you use for when you go travelling.
How's the house going?
It'll survive.
So do you use the walls at home?
I try not to. I try and use the rebounder, but it's there.
Oh, is that one of those trampoline-y things?
Yes.
Yes. that's a recent addition at home, and it's going quite well. Shout out to Sean Levy for that suggestion.
Again, great effort by the Sharks, and great effort by you and Gail and everyone involved, and absolute best of luck. All right, we better get on, or Callan will be complaining to social services that his family don't feed him. Sorry, Callan, I've been told to say it's all your fault all night, so not really. Junior men's results, let's get into it so Callan actually gets a mention in here, just a brief one and a legitimate one. It was the second last week of the under-11s last week, and they're up there at Wanneroo Joondalup in their final second last round. Isla, for the viewers at home, can you tell us the results?
Wembley Gold went down to East Fremantle Bulls 8-12.
Yep.
Go East Freo. Wanneroo lost to Wembley Green 2-11. Alkimos beat the Sharks 7-3, and Bayswater fell to Phoenix 1-15.
Yeah, but under 11s credit, we saw earlier this year the addition of an extra Wembley side and an extra East Fremantle side, and that's where the sport will grow, is by adding different layers. So well done to everyone involved there. We haven't done it all year, viewers, but I'm going to give a shout out to the under 11 goal scorers because it's almost season over. And Logan Mackay of Alkimos leads currently with 52. While Pierre, wait till you see some of the other stats coming up. Pierre Johnson of the Bulls has 39, and Eddie Wilson of Wembley Green has 35 to his name. And for the viewers, Mark, the matches this week, they're up at Wanneroo Joondalup again.
Yep, so Wembley Gold versus Wanneroo Joondalup, Wembley Green versus the East Fremantle Sharks. Good luck to them. Alkimos versus Bayswater, Phoenix versus the Bulls as well. Good luck to them all, though.
Yeah, now just to mention to all the under 11 parents up there, or out there, whether it be north in Alkimos or south in Phoenix, the function at Wanneroo Joondalup this weekend has the under 11s collective wind up straight after the games with a free sausage sizzle. I know, and it's going to be cold and wet Saturday. Have you seen the weather?
Yeah.
You got away with it. You had a beautiful day for your final. Men are going into 100% chance of rain on Saturday.
It's just how the cookie crumbles, aggressive.
Sympathy lacking. But that's what you need, a go-get-em attitude there. And you also don't just get a free sausage, but you also get a little drink as well to all the players and officials. I didn't see what the parents do, but if you ask nicely, maybe you can get some scraps. Otherwise, take some. Okay, under 13s, they had their, and we're looking at all the junior men here at the moment. We'll recap the junior women's finals in a moment. Junior men under 13s, they had their semi-finals last weekend, and I'll do the first one. Phoenix Subiaco 7 went down to Wembley 9 after a 7-goal third quarter by Wembley. So, see, I love that expression because that's how I looked at it too. Phoenix Subiaco would have thought we're home here. And then 7 goals in 1 quarter. Wembley take it out.
Well done, Wembley.
Jared Griffiths had 3, Matt Hill with 2, while Edward Hope and Moses William both with 1 for Phoenix Subiaco. And the Wembley goal scorers, Ronan Mullins, Jai Richardson and Elijah Rieger all had 2, while Lenny Gilmore and Curtis Jenner, in relation to Caitlin, had 1. See, bad dad jokes, bad puns, that's all part of my repertoire. And you get it for free, viewers, each and every week here on the Community Sports Show. Alright, let's have a look. Wanneroo Joondalup.
It wasn't our day that day.
Was not your day in the 13s. 16-5 in favour of Wanneroo Joondalup, who progress automatically through to the grand final. And a few high scorers here. Lockie McAndrew with 4, Tim Gould with 3. He's been a regular. Max Headley Weston, he had 2. Ethan Lakin had 2. Big shout out to Sam there. Kieran Bowater and Andreas Geragin had singles. Well, for East Fremantle, Dad, I'll let you do this one.
Well, Xander Levy continued as he has done. Congratulations to him too on getting into the under-15 squad. Cracking to see, as East Fremantle, one of East Fremantle's representatives. Max Curran and our very own Callan got 1 each. It was a cracking goal.
Was it?
It was. Being a taller member of the team, he used all of his height, and but unfortunately it was just the one. It wasn't enough.
And I have to say, Callan, if you want to mention next year during the midweek show, I set the bar at 2 and above, so I only gave you 1 here because it was the semi-finals. Otherwise I'd be here all night. Lots of people get 1 goal. Not me, but lots of people. Well, the minor premiers, Wanneroo Joondalup, they've gone straight through to the grand final after that win, and they will, that saw the end of 3rd place Phoenix Subiaco, who will now have to watch on. East Fremantle with a chance against Wembley this Saturday. And that is a thing to note, viewers. They are back to Saturday, the men's games, and the junior men as well. 8:30, bright and early, kick the grass. Well, you won't kick the water off because it's going to be wet all day. Take a jumper, take an umbrella.
For sure.
I'm not like, I can't just say, stay home, watch it, because we're not going to stream it. You need to be there. Head down and show your support in person. Now, I won't get you to do tips. I did think about it, but looking at this, you'd have to think, viewers, if you're following the 13s, it's going to be East Fremantle, who have had 12 wins to Wembley's just 5 for the season.
Never say never.
Well, we saw that, didn't we?
For sure.
We saw that plenty. Okay, in the under-15s, also semi-finals, Bayswater not having the best of days out there in the juniors. They've had a strong season, but didn't quite go to plan, going down by 4 to Wembley, who had, and this is another scoreline like Phoenix, or we saw the game against Phoenix there. Bayswater would have been cruising, and then a 5-0 third quarter for Wembley. Suddenly they've won by 4, so Kian Laidley there, had 2 for Bayswater. For Wembley, though, it was Jackson Newsom and Cooper Rigalivich dominating with 3 each, and Charlie Bug had the other 2 Wembley into the grand final. Is that close, viewers? All right, Isla, you want to tackle the next one for us?
Yep. Wanneroo Blue went down to Subiaco Phoenix 7-10 with Ashton Kaczynski with 3 goals for Wanneroo and singles for Zach Cadeau, Lockie McAndrew, Carl Kashmir and Kai Prestosh.
Well done. And Subiaco Phoenix didn't put any goal scorer info as of this afternoon, so sorry, you don't get a mention. That's the way the system works. Firm but fair. Done with love. The minor premiers, Bayswater, well, they're now going to have to rely on a second chance against 4th place Subiaco Phoenix, who did get the win there in the preliminary final, to see who will take on Wanneroo, take on Wembley, in fact. And in that prelim final, Bayswater, again, you said don't judge a book by its cover, don't write a team off. Phoenix, or Subiaco Phoenix, they're coming from 4th place with just 5 wins, while Bayswater had 12 and 50 more, nearly 60 more goals, but on their day, you never know.
Absolutely.
So, just a reminder, the preliminary final is at Bayswater this weekend. Both grounds are in action. Bayswater are very excited to announce that both grounds are officially in action this week. So that match kicking off at 10:15, and again, it will not be streamed. So pack your jumpers, pack your raincoats, pack your brollies, pack your chairs, head on down and check out the action in person at Halliday Park this Saturday. Righto, the last one you have to suffer through is the men. I know, but there's a men's competition and a women's. Got to be fair to both.
Absolutely.
Otherwise I get complaints. No, I don't really, viewers. Please don't. In the 17 men's games last weekend, they pretty much went according to the ladder positions. It really has been a top half and bottom half in a 5-team competition, and no surprises really. As first placed, East Fremantle / Bayswater, because that's why we talk about getting involved. You know, two teams there having to play together because they can't quite get enough numbers themselves. So I think that dominance is really starting to show through. East Fremantle, well, they beat Wembley 13-3. Will Frensham with another 6 to his name. Ollie Johnson with 4. Finn Everell had 2, while Kian Laidley, he had 1. I don't know why we're giving all these blokes mentions for one. Must be the finals. I must be getting soft. Alright, and the other team?
The 3 singles for Wembley went to Charlie Bugg, Tyson Gill and Caleb Rieger.
Yeah, so third place Wanneroo Joondalup. They've had successive wins over Subiaco Phoenix, and the scoreline showed 10-0 online, viewers, so I'm going to interpret that as a forfeit.
That's normally what it means, isn't it?
Normally, and with much love to Phoenix Subiaco, they were sitting dead bottom, and it really was a hide into nothing, and I suspect they knew they were in the finals anyway. That's the way the world works. Alright, looking at the goal scorers here for the under-17 men. Will Frensham, he moves to 43. Oscar Shiner has 34, while Alex Mitchell-Lewis and Lockie Daniel have 28. And I think I owe Lockie Daniel an apology because he walked past me at the ground on Saturday. He said, "See you later, Noel," and I said, "See you later, Clancy." Sorry, Lockie. Oh dear. Yeah, I know.
It's our age.
Just own up to it. It's okay, you know. At least I knew that I got it wrong. It would be worse if I went, "Oh, wasn't he a lovely boy?" Lockie Wills is actually, in fact, I think I might have just done it again because I've given a shout out to Lockie Daniel, and it was Lockie Wills that walked past. Oh, talk about the age.
I'm sure he'll be fine. He'll understand.
Luckily, I'm the producer, so that won't make the outtake edition of the show. Lockie Wills, sorry, mate, and I am genuinely sorry. He has 25 assists, and we've been tracking those. A few players more in favour of offering assists than others, shall I say?
Yeah.
Have you found that?
Yeah, although it does say that I've got 0 assists, which is not right.
Not true?
No.
Stats. Lies.
At the end of the day, it's how you feel.
Yeah.
The stats can only tell you a bit of the story.
Well, yeah, that's absolutely true. Again, I've never hit a 180 in darts. I'm happy if I hit a score of 80, let alone 180. But you get a good number. It doesn't matter if there are 3 random numbers that you weren't aiming for. If they add up, it's in the scorebook.
So long as you're hitting the dartboard rather than the board.
There are moments I've hit the board. This week, the preliminary final for the 17s. Hope you're awake, fellas. Don't have a big Friday night because you're on at 8:30 on Saturday morning. That will be bright and early.
It is, yeah.
For the 17 men's because of all the grounds and the fixturing, etc. And it's Wembley taking on Wanneroo Joondalup, the winner, to take on East Fremantle. And I will get your thoughts here, Isla, because East Fremantle, they've been strong, and we're not talking about East Freo now. Wembley finished second with 8 wins and 6 losses. Wanneroo just 1 loss, or 1 win behind there. Have you seen much of the guys' actions?
I've seen some of them, yeah. And I think Wembley has got a really good chance of winning that game. They've got a strong team.
Yeah, they've been more consistent, I think, up forward, and been able to have more avenues at goals. So I'm not going to tip. I'm just going to get these two into trouble. All right, let's have a look at the junior women's recap. They had their grand finals last week, from memory. Yes, last week. Before we then have a look at the senior women's grand finals and find out a bit more about how Isla chopped up in the grand final. That's me normally. I'm on medication and I haven't taken it. Okay, for the junior 14s women's, congratulations to Wanneroo Joondalup. They were the minor premiers, but congratulations at the end of the season has to go to Bayswater, who fought off a very determined opposition to get a golden goal final thriller and take their fourth consecutive title in the 14s. Elizabeth Hogg had 7, as did Zach Kerdow for Wanneroo Joondalup, and Cleona Alice, she's had a good season. She had 8 goals for Bayswater, including the match winner in overtime. You know, if you're going to have a good day out, Cleona, have a good day out. Jem Jobson chipped in with 6 as well. We've got to give Jem a mention there. And the Association Fairest and Best in the 17s, Mark, we'll throw to you.
So it's Elizabeth Hogg from Wanneroo Joondalup, and the runner-up was Jem Jobson from Bayswater. I believe Jem's in your under-15s team as well.
Congratulations, Jem and Lizzie.
Cleona finished her season with 63 goals. Really impressive again. Lizzie Hogg with 58 and Jem on 55. So yeah, some familiar names, and can't wait to see them play over in Adelaide in September.
And so that must be encouraging to see the, I say juniors, they're young adults these days, coming through and having such good talent amongst them. Must encourage you, I imagine.
Yeah, of course. Anyone who's trying and developing their team, it's just like, it's amazing to watch.
Well, what was amazing to watch last week was the under-17 women. Because if you don't mind, and I heard that, Bally, Bayswater were minor premiers for the 3rd year in a row and took their 3rd under-17s premiership in a row. So going premiers or minor premiers and premiers 3 years in a row, very impressive, beating Wembley 10 goals to 6 there. Addie Reardon, well, Addie, you didn't come back to the broadcast van, you owe me one. She top scored with 5. Maddie Walters had 2, and then all singles. And I'm sorry, ladies, you're not getting a mention there because you got them last week. Addie Reardon finished on top of the goal scorers with a very healthy 52 for the year. And Corey Rainey, she's had a good season as well, I think, with 41 there. And the Association Fairest and Best Isla?
The Association Fairest and Best was Sophia Brigitti from Wembley, and the runner-up was Claire Lawrence from Wanneroo.
Well done to both of you there, Sophia, having a good season as well. Alright, time to get into the women's grand finals. There was a couple of matches last weekend, as you mentioned, big crowd, good, perfect conditions for lacrosse last weekend. Big crowd, credit to everyone that turned up and showed your support for the teams. Now, we just heard about Bayswater taking out the under-17s. They took out the Division 2 minor premiership as well.
They did.
While Wembley won their prelim in a close one against Wanneroo Joondalup. But on Saturday, in the grand final,
it was quite a game.
It was really great to watch.
It was great to watch indeed. Wembley taking on a Bayswater side who'd been dominant all season. Bayswater with 12 wins, Wembley with just 6 head-to-head. Wembley with just a total of 15 goals to Bayswater's 24 across the season. But that dominance didn't matter.
No, it was, as you said, it was a great game to watch as an independent, and to see Bridges, Shandell, some people we recognise from around the different clubs, and really getting stuck in. I think it was an even tempered game as well. There wasn't, but it was classic women's lacrosse. It was brilliant.
Oh, and I mean, you saw the dominance. We just heard it there. Bayswater going through, taking the minor premiership, but just one goal in the opening quarter, and that goal going to Shandell Oliver, one of our very own. Well done there, Shandell.
Absolutely.
3 each in the second. Saw it close, and then a 3-0 for Wembley in the third quarter was enough to get them the win and take the match 9-6 over Bayswater.
I think the scoreline 9-6 sounds like a beating, but no, I think it was a pretty fair match, and as I said, great lacrosse to see.
Look, it was great lacrosse across the board, really. And just the enthusiasm from both sides. Yeah. You know, Bayswater kept their head high and won the last quarter, but couldn't quite bring it home. Jen Edwards, we saw you on line there. Jen, I'll give you a wave back. She had 2, and a new player whose name I've only just started seeing this year, Emma Tregurtha. Not sure where Emma's come from, but they both had 2 each for Wembley, with singles to Yvette Peterson, Shandell Oliver, Bridget Cook, Sophia Moore, and Steph Allen. No relation to Gail or David or Craig.
I only know some of those, I'm afraid, now. So.
Well, no, because we had Dave Allen helping out, and I should acknowledge at this stage, thank you to Dave. He jumped in and did the camera work. So if you watch that game, there's actually someone zooming in and out. That wasn't me, viewers. That credit belongs to Dave Allen of Wembley. I can't zoom. Thanks for your help, Dave. And he's helping with a very exciting project as well coming up shortly. Can't wait to see that in effect. And sadly, Bayswater, well, they put the chalk away because they didn't want to tell the world they lost. No scorer information for the Bayswater side. And I'll be honest, I didn't go out and look at my piece of paper. Top 4, though, for the Division 2 ladies. You want to give them a shout-out? I'll give you the easy ones.
Yeah. It's Nikki Carson from Bayswater, Michaela Johns from Subiaco, Olivia Hall from Wembley, and Ellie Marlowe from Wanneroo.
Yeah, congratulations to all of them. And again, a mixture of youth and experience in those names, reflecting the level of competition between all the sides there. All right, well, we've heard where she's come from. We've heard where she's hoping to go. Now we're going to hear a little bit about how she chopped up. Stop doing that, Noel. Stop doing it. Subiaco, they took the minor premiership over East Rio in the last round. You're sitting up top there and then blew it. You lost the minor premiership. Then you won the first semi-final in week 1. Gave yourself a chance to go straight through. Subiaco had to beat Phoenix. Do you think that week off helped you?
Yeah, our team definitely does well with a week off. Getting that motivation up, I think we had a lot more training sessions than we usually do. And the team really got together and rallied, and we had that determination to win.
Oh, wow. I like that's what you got to have. Never say die attitude. Because in the 4 games you played, because the way the system works, it's strange, but you had 4 games against them this year. Subiaco won 3 of them, and then there was a 10-all draw. I think that was second last game of the year from memory.
I missed that one, unfortunately.
That's why they didn't win. Goals in season this year, East Fremantle with just 29 and Subiaco had 46, so it really was all Subiaco. Subiaco on top top of the ladder as minor premiers. They were last year's premiers after beating East Fremantle. Was that in the fire? Was that a bit of the fire in the belly as well?
Yeah, we felt that loss last year, and I'm pretty sure there was a loss the year before.
Yeah.
But it was going to be a win. No other option.
Gotta be blue.
Gotta be blue. Well, like Wembley did indeed too, it's what happens on the day, and a final score saw East Fremantle defeating Subiaco to be the Lacrosse WA Women's State League champions for 2024 with a scoreline of 14-10. Congratulations. See, if you want to get involved in our show and sit, I can't say just in a corner because that makes it sound bad, but if you'd like to sit somewhere and do sound effects, that'd be where we'd throw one in there. Do you know any young IT people want to not play lacrosse but do broadcasting?
I don't actually. I should. You should put like a little notice up in your Facebook chat.
I've tried. I've tried, but I'm getting help this year, and it's great to have that. But it was great to see what can only be described as a barrage. Shot after shot after shot. 5 goals to 1 in the first quarter. I think you really sent a statement, didn't you?
Yeah, and that was our plan all along. Beat them when they're down.
Oh, beat them when they're... Well, I mean, we should give a shout out here because Shannon Mitchell was out. She hurt herself, unfortunately, and she's been in good form for Subiaco this year, one of their top goal scorers, so that would have helped a little.
Yeah, a little.
Psychologically, because you suddenly think, oh, there's one less, we've got to worry about scoring.
But of course that gives Subiaco the determination. Oh, we've lost our best player, we're going to go out. But they definitely put their all out there. Not going to...
Oh, no, they definitely did. But, look, it was a 5-goal-to-2 burst in the final quarter, but again, just too late for Subiaco. And in the end, you mentioned a couple of these players already as leaders of the club. Jess Kennedy, she had 4. The American, Lizzie Lynch, had 3, while Tegan, Sam and Olivia all had 2 and 1 for Emily Wills. And for Subiaco, I'll let you do it, Mark. I know you don't want to give them any credit, Isla.
Oh, credit where credit is. Kate Hooper with 4 for Subi. A real talisman for Subiaco, and well played, Kate. Erin, Courtney and Emma getting 2 each as well. I think as you've got there, the defence, East Fremantle defence with Sarah in the cage, Jen helping out as well, and Tash and Georgia. Yeah, that really helped. But I think, for me, scoring as I was, Posey, what an absolute legend. A role model from so many people, the way her grit and determination, head down, tail up, and she was gone. And every chance she got.
Well, she's been hurt a couple of times, I think, this year, hasn't she? Or was that Tegan? Or are they sharing the hurts?
Believe more of it's Tegan.
Well, Tegan, in the off-season, we'll buy you some bubble wrap so you can get through next season unharmed. But Posey O'Keefe, as you mentioned there, took out the Coljack medal for the Association Most Valuable Player in the grand final. Isla, you mentioned that you were determined. I'm curious about, and I didn't ask this earlier, you've got a couple of old war horses, Jeff and Gary as coaches, who have played for Australia. They've been at the state league level, state level as well. They come across as loud and proud. I can't deny they're proud of being East Fremantle, but they definitely are loud. In the rooms before the game, what sort of advice or tips were they giving you about overcoming Subiaco?
Go hard, no stopping. Half time especially, it's like, okay, we're back to 0-0. Like, it's hard all the way.
Yeah. Well, that's a pretty simple solution, isn't it? Just go hard.
Go work
On that
yourself.
basis, I could be a coach. What do do you reckon, Mark? We take the gig up?
Well, I'd follow you.
Not in the battle, you wouldn't, because I'd turn tail. But look, from the defence, it was a good team effort from the opening start. Defence has to stop the ball. I mentioned that before about you can stop 10, but if you score 11, you win. So it was a whole team game, and I've seen the clips on East Freo's socials. Thanks for making my broadcast van look good there and giving us a shout out in the credits. But there was a lot of excited people. Did Georgia ever stop hugging people that night?
No, but that's fair. I don't think anyone did.
No?
No. It was a team effort, and I think everyone was just so excited about it.
Georgia is definitely the hug queen down there at East Freo. Great person, and she's also playing. I don't think she's in Hong Kong, but
she's in the Australian box team. So is Posey, Olivia, and Tash, and Tegan. It's a whole East Freo team in there.
Yeah, it's awesome to see.
Well, it's awesome to see you stepping up, Isla. Congratulations again on your win on Saturday. Congratulations on a great season, you know. Young player, only 3 years in, to be at the level you're at is really a testament, not just to the family, but to you and the approach you've taken and to the people you're surrounding yourself with. So we wish you the very best of luck there. Now, I gave you one chance before because, viewers, we're about to have a brief break, so these guys, I need to turn the volume down on the stomach grumble, so I'm going to let them go get some food. And Callan, don't panic, it's on its way. That's my final dig at you, Callan, I promise. But any last shout-outs, Mark? I'll go to you first and give you a second to think of friends or family.
There's hundreds, literally hundreds.
But 3. Nah, I'll give you 5.
Credit where, I mean, without Gail, really, Isla has got within Gail, Isla has one of the strongest female role models that you can ever hope for. When we look at the other people that inspire my daughter, as proud as she makes me, Tegan Brown. For Isla to start playing lacrosse 3 years ago, and Tegan was at that point someone that was we could see her on the TV playing for Australia, and then to see how much she helped Isla, the way she talks to Isla and the way she mentored her, massive credit. I think credit as well, there's too many to mention for me, but
family and the girls at East Freo.
The girls at East Freo, the people who run the club, as well. But I mean, it's more than that. It's the people who help out at under 15s, who help out at under 18s, the people that we meet at the airport when all the girls fly off to wherever. It is truly inspiring.
Well, you're both very inspiring, and hopefully the viewers out there have taken some inspiration from this. And before we finish, Isla, inspire us. She said that's not on the list of things you said you'd talk about. Well, again, just for all the young ladies, this will be seen all over the world. People might not be into lacrosse. Let me ask you this question then. Apart from the sports and the fact that you're at a good level, what are the 2 big things you get out of being involved in sport? Not just East Freo, but in sport generally.
Learning to take up opportunities. Like, if there's a job opportunity or there's something at school, like, I want to take it because I know that I can. I know I have nothing to lose, and that's because I've been playing sport. And having a community back you as well, that's helpful in any situation. But having family community and like people at sport or hang out with them not at sport as well.
Yeah.
It's just, it makes everything like more like a big community.
And that, viewers, is why we are called the Community Sports Show, because we cannot say it any better than that. The benefits of involvement at community sport, no matter what sport it is. And I should actually, just before you go, if you duck your head one side there, Isla, the shirt behind you, big shout out to Chadston, who have battled away in the Division 2 competition over in Melbourne. They won on the weekend and avoided the wooden spoon. So big shout out to Chatty. It's all about community. It's all about getting involved, and we cannot wish Isla any more success than she will get herself under her own steam. All right, we'll take a break. Thanks to ID Athletic and Vision Decor, you're here on the Community Sports Show with me, Noel Nosey Johnston. And for the record, Mum has said Callan would like takeaway pizza for dinner, please. Welcome back, everyone. Here I am, just saying goodbye to Mark and Isla Emmerson after a great interview, and thanks very much to both of them for their support during the last hour or so. What an insightful young lady, and what an absolute privilege to get someone like that in the studio. She is a testament to what it's all about, and when we say take the one step, really, she is taking them one step at a time and on a ladder that will only see her rise, in my humble opinion. Well, we're back now, and we'll get through the men's and the rest of the country, and then we'll call it a night, but now we're back. And Gail, I have noticed that you've removed the request for pizza, but I can promise you it's on its way. Alright, what also is on its way are the great deals thanks to our sponsors. ID Athletic, for your sporting apparel and club merchandise needs, can help you and your club build your identity as they've done with us here on the Community Sports Show. While Vision Decor for curtains, blinds and awnings, even hybrid floorings. Vision Decor, great products, great prices, great people. And we're also supported by Ashby Farrell White Arch for your real estate needs. Barner Construction, if you want something big built, build it with Barner. And our newest supporter is not on there at the moment, but he is in my heart, Nathan Waterston of Nathan's Event Hire, who has helped build up where we're at today, and we couldn't have done it without him. So thanks to each and every one of them for their continued support. Alright, let's get into the men's now. Men's Division 3, it was their final round last weekend, and a couple of matches going on there, and we'll do this segment by scores and goals. So Wembley defeating Phoenix 14-4. Wanneroo Joondalup lost a close one 7-5 to East Fremantle. East Fremantle, well, that win sees them go through the season as minor premiers. We'll talk about that in a second. And Bayswater, well, this was a battle for fourth. Whoever won had fourth place, and it was Elkamos getting the win 15-4 over the home side at Halliday Park last week. Goal scorers last weekend, James Robinson of Wembley, he led the numbers with 5. 4s to Chris Ford and Josh Koss of the Pirates. We saw them in action in that game I just mentioned there. And doubles to Steve Smythe, Jake Cutler, Nathan Roost, Russell Vallis, Luke Oliver, Adam Stone, Jack Mullen, he had 2, so too did Brad Smith. Paul Pumba Pemba, Wayne Curran got a mention tonight, so a double Curran mention. Sean Kennedy, Tom Meshler, and the last one there, Tyler James, who owes me an interview. He's heading over to Canada to give Lacrosse a bit of a crack there, so best of luck in your journey there, Tyler. I'm sure that will be an interesting experience going around playing lacrosse in the Great Wide North. Alright, the ladder, as I mentioned, East Fremantle getting up just. That sees them as minor premiers on 15-0, undefeated, a fantastic effort. We called it a number of weeks ago a juggernaut, and that's exactly what it was. Wembley took second with 11 wins, Wanneroo Joondalup in third with 7, and as we mentioned, Elkamos getting over Bayswater sees them in fourth place with 6, while both Bayswater and Phoenix with 4 wins and 1 respectively will miss out on the finals action this weekend, which sees Wanneroo Joondalup take on Elkamos on field 2. That is 3rd versus 4th, while we see East Fremantle, sorry, mind meld there, East Fremantle taking on Wembley on field 1, the winner of that straight through to the grand final. In a couple of weeks' time we'll be there, and we'll be streaming that match. Wanneroo Joondalup on field 2, so as we mentioned with Isla and Mark in the studio, both fields up and running at Bayswater this weekend. So, with that said, make sure you get in early, find a parking spot, and even if you park just up the hill near Hillcrest, it's only a 2-minute walk. Association top 4 was announced last week. We see Luke Grootveld of East Fremantle, Yoshi Aida of Phoenix, Hector Kinnock of Alkimos, and Kobe Tyrell getting the honours in the Division 3 Association top 4 mentions there. Alright, Division 2, we gave ourselves a break last week, and I'm not sure that was a popular decision by some, but it was necessary, and we saw some results. Wembley enjoying the bye last weekend. Wanneroo Joondalup beat East Fremantle 13-5, so East Fremantle going through undefeated in the Division 3. Their Division 2 men not quite as proficient, however they still fought hard. It was 6-0 at quarter time though, and that really set it up for Wanneroo Joondalup, and a 5-2 last quarter putting the icing on the cake. So 11 in 2 quarters, and then 2 in the other 2 for Wanneroo Joondalup. And in the match we didn't broadcast, well, Bayswater. Subiaco have had a tough year in Division 2. We made a conscious decision to not broadcast, thinking that it would be a whitewash. It wasn't, and Bayswater just got up, getting up 6-4 over Subiaco. While the goal scorers this week saw Ben Jones with 4 for Wanneroo Joondalup continue his good form. The yin to our State League yang, otherwise known as Reef, good mate of Beef, Alex Hobbs of Bayswater, he had 4 as well, but unfortunately, Alex, we didn't film it, so I'm sorry about that, but there's your credit on the international stage. And 3s to Graham Duffy and Lockie Wills, and I've already apologised. I've got the apology there. I should have saved it for there. And just one person with 2 goals, that was Matt Devoy of East Fremantle in the men's Division 2 last weekend. That means that Wanneroo Joondalup are the minor premiers for the men's Division 2 state competition in 2024. 11 wins, 1 loss, a very healthy percentage of 287. They finished a couple of games clear of Wembley. East Fremantle in 3rd with 6, and Bayswater taking out 4th place with 4 wins there, while Subiaco will look to rebound in 2025. Goal scorers, Ben Jones is leading the stats with 48. Graham Duffy has 29. Says on my notes here, String Bean, Alex McBean, he has 27. Reef, that is Alex Hobbs, with 21, while Cam Mulcahy leads the stats with 26 assists for the season. Now viewers, this weekend both of the Division 2 semi-finals, we're back to Saturday. They're both on Field 2 though, so they won't be filmed. First up, we see East Fremantle taking on Bayswater, and then Wanneroo Joondalup taking on Wembley at 3:30. East Fremantle, Bayswater at 1:45 there over on the second field at Halliday. If anyone would like to capture some footage or maybe do a post-game interview for us over there, we'd love to hear from you. Plenty of opportunities to share and to get involved in doing what we're doing across the globe, taking local sports to a global audience. Simple as that. All right, Association top 5. There's a top 5 in the men's Division 2, and that list includes Lucas Deshawn of Bayswater, Dylan Hoyne and Cam Mulcahy of Wanneroo Joondalup, Chris Thompson of East Fremantle, and the man, the myth, the legend, David Fox of Subiaco in there. He is just an all-round good guy. We've met a couple of good people here tonight, but Foxy, love his commitment to supporting his sport, and good to see him getting in the top 5 there. And Foxy, there's your top straight above me, so thank you for sharing that. Alright, State League, it was their final round, and again, pretty much going based on ladders except for one. Wanneroo Joondalup lost to East Fremantle at Wanneroo Joondalup last Friday night. Interesting decision to move that game up there at night, but 6:15 the final scoreline there. Cam Evangelo had 5 with doubles to for East Fremantle to Ryan Hockey, Dan Bobo Bowater, Griffin Cook and Mitch Kennedy, while Lockie Walker had 2 for Wanneroo Joondalup. And I hear from an unnamed source that Lockie was not happy with his team and their effort last Friday night, the General, on an experienced international stage, really expecting his side to step up. And Wanneroo Joondalup, well, not saying they're going out in straight sets, but certainly they haven't put the package together on the field that will hold them in good stead for the finals. Wembley took on Phoenix, and it was an easy 17-4 win there. You'd expect that. Phoenix having had a few challenges this year, and this week Fraser Gill and Alexander Mitchell-Lewis jumped in to help out, fill that Phoenix side, so well done, fellas. But Charlie Clark had 4 for Wembley, Lucas Wood with 3, and then doubles to Jack Cooper, Lucas Koswara, Matt Wood and Oscar Heppingstone, and Zeth Velsecki had 3 of the 4 goals for Phoenix, Ethan Moyer with the remaining one there. And then in the broadcast match, well, Subiaco had 4th place secured. Not sure that they thought they were going to come up at Bayswater this determined, though. They've worked hard, and Bayswater put on a show at home to beat Subiaco 12 goals to 9. Reef's mate Beef had 3, and is Alex Halliday, Tom Harris, Chris Patton and Liam Bryant all chipping in with doubles for Bayswater there. Ashby Dennis, he's enjoying his time in the centre. He had 3 for Subiaco. James Dugan and Tim Chaney both with 2. I just want to give a little shout out here to Yuki Murayama of Subiaco, who stepped into the goals and has started following us. Thank you, Yuki. He is someone that uses our footage for his own development, so thanks for that feedback. That's what we're all about, and I appreciate the way you let us know. Well, East Fremantle, they did it in Div 3, and they've done it again in State League. East Fremantle take out the minor premierships and finish on 14 wins and 1 loss, so not quite the unbeaten record perhaps they might have hoped for, but a very healthy 300%. While Wembley in second, 3 wins behind, 11 and 4. Wanneroo Joondalup on 9 and 6, and Subiaco will finish 4th. Despite that loss, they finished with 7 wins, while Bayswater take 5th with 46% ahead of Phoenix with 31. Both those sides finishing their season with 2 wins. So a great fight back there by Bayswater to put on a great show in front of a passionate crowd at Halliday Park last week, and that is exactly what sport's all about. Goal scorers for State League sees Cam Evangelo leading the goal scorers with 49, Lockie Walker with 41, Jordan Gillespie with 40, and Mitch Kennedy with 39. So interesting there, 2 Wanneroo Joondalup and 2 East Fremantle players each in the top 4 of the goal scorers. So if they're on fire or on target, those players can all have a big impact. But Jordan and Mitch have been a little quiet of late. Cam Evangelo really stepping up and putting his best foot forward. We're into the semi-finals this weekend, which means that both will be streamed. Both State League semi-finals will be streamed. The first one between 3rd and 4th. Wanneroo Joondalup against Subiaco. That game at 1:45. While East Fremantle take on Wembley. The winner to progress straight through the State League Grand Final. That game at 3:30. We'll be there to film both, and if you'd like to get involved, either on camera, on the laptop, or maybe even giving commentary a crack, we'd love to hear from you as we look to finish up our season on a high as well. Speaking of high to the top 4 in the Men's State League for the Association MVP Awards. Lucas Koswara, Tom Richards, Lockie Walker, and rounding it out, Griffin Cook in there as well. So Lockie in the goal scorers in the association top 4. He really is a stalwart of his club and a great servant of the sport of lacrosse. Let's move across the border. Have a look at South Australia now. Both their men and women have 1 week left. Last weekend, Glenelg with the bye. However, we saw Woodville with 20 defeat North Eagles, and we called that really was going to be a tough one for North Eagles. They had 3, Charlotte Winnan with 7 for Woodville, while Burnside lost to Brighton 14-2, and India Williams, the top goal scorer for Brighton in that match there. The Women's State League, I don't know what's going on in Adelaide, but the Women's State League ladder has been adjusted again, and Brighton have gone backwards. Despite the win, they've gone backwards. They've got 12 wins, no losses. Glenelg in second with 8 and 4, Woodville on 6. Burnside will round out the top 4 with 3, and North Eagles sit in 5th place and will be unlikely to take part in the rest of the season after this weekend. But they've got this weekend and they take on Burnside. Burnside at home against North Eagles. Woodville taking on Glenelg. For the men, what can we say? Brighton in a strong performance, getting 26 goals to 5 over ETP. East Torrens Paynham really feeling the pain there. Anson Carter quite happy to inflict some with 5 goals of his own. Next match saw Glenelg beat Burnside 14-9. We don't have any Glenelg information, so a big shout out to Rob Lawson. If there is any, please let us know. We can update that for you next week. While in the final match, Woodville were beaten in the closest of the weekend, going down to Sturt, 14-12. Sean Filippa with 4 for Woodville in that match there, and no Sturt goal scorers to mention. Ladder, Brighton on top, Glenelg 1 win behind. Woodville then in 3rd. Sturt will take 4th. ETP and Burnside will sit it out next week, but they get to enjoy this weekend, hopefully at least. ETP taking on Woodville. Brighton versus Glenelg, a top of the table clash for the Men's State League in South Australia. That should be a cracker. Burnside taking on Sturt in the final match in South Australia. Moving further east, it was the final week, or is the final week for the men. The women are done, but the men's top 6 series for the State League saw Malvern defeat Camberwell 13-10, I should say. And the top goal scorer that we can see with no Malvern information was Mick Ginnity, or Mike Ginnity, with 3 for Camberwell. Caulfield went down in a close one to Footscray, 8-10. And again, no Footscray information, so Connor Woolley of Caulfield gets the mention there. And Williamstown beating Eltham 11-8. And Callan Gibson in some good form this season. He top scored with 4. This week in the final round of the Super 6 series that Victoria do, Footscray up against Camberwell, Williamstown take on Caulfield, while Eltham take on Malvern in what would probably be the match of the week, because you'd imagine Williamstown and Footscray will both get up over Camberwell and Caulfield respectively. Eltham, well, they sit in 5th place. Camberwell get beaten, Eltham get up over Malvern, although Malvern are 3rd. If Eltham can get up over Malvern, they might sneak in, so opportunity there. I did it before, I'll do it again. A special mention to the Chadstone Championship League reserves on their 3-2 win over Brunswick/Moreland in the battle for 4th, and getting that win to avoid the dreaded 5th spot in the competition with only 5 teams in it. The Men's State League ladder, as I mentioned, Williamstown, Footscray and Malvern all just one win apart from each other. Then it's a drop down to Camberwell, Eltham and Caulfield rounding out the top 6. They've got 5. The Women's State League Grand Final was a couple of weeks ago now, and Williamstown lost 9-12 to Footscray, who took their 4th title in a row. And on that occasion, Sarah Mollinson with 5, Bonnie Yu with 3 taking the MVP. And before we wrap up the show, while we're in there in Victoria, we just want to acknowledge the passing of Williamstown Club legend and life member Rob Flaherty. A big write-up on the Williamstown and Lacrosse Victoria pages, and Rob with over 300 senior games, nearly 900 goals and nearly 300 assists. So our thoughts go out to the Flaherty family and to the members of the Williamstown Lacrosse Club on the passing of Robert. As we mentioned with Isla and Mark, we hope your community come together and can support each other during that difficult time. Alright, it's almost time to wrap it up, but before I do, I just want to do a couple of mentions here. First of all, thanks very much to Isla and Mark for coming in to join me tonight. What a great insight they shared on the opportunities that are available for people out there. As I just look across and check that that's still working. Yes, it says it is. So we will soldier on, and sometimes, viewers, you just smile and go, okay. But I want to thank you, the viewers, for joining us tonight. I want to put out a call for a scoreboard or IT sponsor. If you can help us with that, we'd love to hear from you. We've already got Nathan of Nathan's Event Hire helping us out with the IT. Good luck to the Australian under-20 reps and the team in Hong Kong for the Worlds. They start, as we mentioned, in the box competition this Friday. Australia up against New Zealand and also taking on Italy, Mexico and Scotland. Those games will be streamed. You have to check out Lacrosse WA to find the links for those, because they are streamed through pay-per-view. If you want to check that out, head over to there. And we want to mention congratulations to Georgia Floyd of Camberwell on her promotion to that side as well. Final reminder, North-South registration. Check out Lacrosse WA and their socials. That competition kicking off on the 7th of September. This weekend, our coverage all on YouTube. Once again, we'll give it a crack. East Fremantle Division 3 taking on Wembley. Men's State League, 3rd versus 4th, Wanneroo Joondalup taking on Subiaco at 1:45. And then the top of the table clash to go through to the grand finals, 3:30, East Fremantle up against Wembley. No lacrosse on Sunday, just another day at the footy up in the hills for their penultimate round as we see Mundaring take on Bullsbrook. That game at 2 o'clock. All of our coverage is proudly brought to you thanks to our fabulous sponsors and supporters. ID Athletic, for your sporting apparel and club merchandise needs. ID Athletic can help you and your club build your identity with their great range of sporting apparel and club merchandise. Just like they've done for us, ID Athletic can help you and your club build your identity. And Vision Decor, curtains, blinds, awnings, even hybrid floorings. Vision Decor, great products, great prices, great people. We use them both and we encourage you to use them as well. Wherever you are across the globe, I am Noel Nosey Johnston on behalf of Isla Emmerson and Mark Emmerson and the rest of the team here at the Community Sports Show. I say thanks very much for joining us. One last teaser. Keep your ears open, because coming in the next few weeks we hope to debut yet another tweak to our broadcasts. Be sure to join us then at Saturday at 12 o'clock for that Division 3 match. Take care, stay safe wherever you are around the world. Remember, be nice to yourself, but please be nice to those around you too.